Hello YarnTube, hello YouTube, hello you. Hope you're having a good day. It is Tuesday the 28th of November. This is day 28 of Vlogember and I am here with a tag. Yes, it is Tag Tuesday for me today. I saw the end of year tag. It has started to kind of mooch around BookTube and I saw Simon from SavidgeReads do it. I was watching it yesterday and I had it in my head that I would do a tag today. And I have been nominated, I have been tagged in one or two things, which I must get around to doing. But I thought, oh, this is really topical, and this is the end of Vlogember. I only have two more after this. So I thought, right, well, I shall do the end of year tag, and we can all think about what our reading plans are for the next month, and then going on. Thinking about 2018 already. I have done really well so far and not thinking about 2018, but I guess this is going to start me thinking about it. So here we go. Without further ado, I shall go into the questions. The originator of the end of year tag was Ariel Bissett, and I will leave the link below. Number one, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Need to finish? No, not really. I don't kind of consider myself needing, but I have had one book on Goodreads that I haven't finished. I've barely started and I really would like to finish this year. So I suppose need, no, want, yes, so, but would like to is probably the strongest I'm going to go, and that's The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the second book in, what's the series called? The Broken Earth. So it's the second book in the Broken Earth series. The fifth season was the first one. I bought it for myself for my birthday and then read it and loved it. I bought this in, I think, June or July. I mean, I bought it quite soon after with the intention of reading it, I think in August, and I never got round to it. And I started it and then moved on to something else, and I don't know why, but I did. I started it. So I'm 16 pages in. I probably will just go back to the beginning and start again. So yes, that is the book that I need to finish. I think it would be really good to finish it this year and then maybe look at, in the first couple of months of next year, getting the last one and completing the trilogy. That would feel an accomplishment. Do you have, now question number two, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Not really. I don't really tend to read books in seasons in that way. I suppose you automatically find yourself reading more holiday books on holiday or kind of autumnal spooky books around Halloween, if you're that way inclined. The only book that I thought looked autumnal and that I do want to continue reading over the next coming months is The Hive by B. Wilson. And I'm basically picking it because of the colours on the cover. It's the story of the honeybee and us. I've read the introduction and the first chapter. It's one of those books that I'm probably not going to sit there and concentrate on. I'm going to pick up and read a chapter every so often. What normally happens with these books is that about halfway through I get obsessed and finish it. But at the moment it's upstairs and it's one of those books that I'm picking up sometimes when I'm waiting for Ben to get out of the shower and that kind of stuff, and I'm reading a couple of pages and I'm thoroughly enjoying it, but I'm not actually racing my way through it. So that's my autumnal book, which I should transition over the next couple of seasons, no doubt. It'll take me a couple of months and I'll read it. Number three, is there a new release you want to read before the end of the year? Not really. I don't really pay attention to new releases now. When I was in the bookshops, we lived so many months in advance. You were continuously thinking about it. And of course you were getting excited to it and the buzz of it. And since I've left the bookshops, there has been part of me that has deliberately stepped back from that and enjoys walking into a bookshop and being surprised. I'll be completely honest with you. I love walking into a bookshop and going, oh, I didn't know that was out. I mean, that to me is the excitement I remember as a youngster. And I still really like that feeling, that excitement you get when you go in and you go, oh, I didn't know that was out. I was thinking about two authors. When I was thinking about this question, there are two authors that if their next book came out, I would get excited about. And one of them is Hilary Mantel. So if her third book in her trilogy, which started with Wolf Hall, came out, I would be, oh, Hilary! Oh, that would be wonderful, and I would get it on its publication day in hardback and I would read it. So her. And the other one that I would get on its publication date and stop the world so that I could sit and read it would be Deborah Harkness's new book. And I think that one in particular would be because there are certain people in my life that love that book, including myself, that series, including myself. And there would also be quite a lot of us on BookTube that would be excited about it. And I can see some serious conversations going on about that, and that would be wonderful. That would be great. So those are the two. If they had a new release in the next couple of months, then that would be wonderful, but I don't think they do. So that's the end of that question. My question is no, but I kind of segued on something else. Question 4, what are the 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? So I had a good mooch around. I've got lots of books I want to read before the end of the year. In particular on my books on my Kindle. I've got a whole slew of books on my Kindle that I have been amassing. But I'll go on about that another day. But the 3 that I have in physical copy, in physical hardbacks here, looking at the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge for 2017, I need to go through and see how many I'm out. But one I think I am out is a main character with a disability. So Borderline by Michelle Baker, I have had in my head since I've got this book that this would be that book, and it's Millie lost her legs and her filmmaking career in a failed suicide attempt. So it's Hollywood and the Fae, and she's got a disability. So I kind of think it's going to be great. And when I've shown this in the past, people have said, yes, it's a really good book, you will love it. Another book I'm quite excited about reading is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Somehow this says to me December, and I think it's because it sounds overblown. So it's about Shakespearean archetypes, kind of actors at college, and The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It all sounds very overblown. The book is dramatic. It's beautiful black with his embossed and it's black paper. So I kind of think it all of it shrieks kind of excess. So I'm looking forward to reading that before the end of the year. And the last book is a book I haven't shown you yet, but it's Behind the Throne by K.B. Is that Waggers or Wagers? I don't know how K pronounces their surname. This is a sci-fi. It's the beginning of the Indrian War. And somebody said, I'm just reading this, I think you'll really enjoy it. Somebody left a comment. I'm terribly sorry, I did write it down, but I couldn't find it. But you said, you must get this book. And I literally went, okay. There are some times when people say it and I'm in that mood, I go, okay. And I just order it in on what you say. Be careful what you tell me to read, because I just go, okay, I'll get it and read it. I didn't even know what it was about. Literally, their passion made me go, okay. I'm going to read it. So I've got it in. And then since I've got it in, I thought, oh, it's a sci-fi series. And I'm in the mood for one. I'm really in the mood for a proper sci-fi series. Not fantasy. I want kind of guns and kind of badness. And it's Behind the Throne. And it says, once a gunrunner, now the heir to an empire. And I just think, yes, I'm in the mood for this. I'm in the mood for this kind of thing. So, and I've also seen on the social medias, I've seen 1 or 2 people talk about this book as though it's like kind of the series, as though it's the best thing ever and it's transformative and all this. And I'm thinking, I'm right there for that. You can tell sometimes where you are. And as a little collection, I think they really complement each other. I think somehow I'm ticking a lot of bases there, ticking a lot of boxes, hitting a lot of bases, all of those things. So yeah, sci-fi, overblown crime, mystery, fae, Hollywood. What a combination, hey? What a combination. So those are my 3, which I shall be reading soon. Number 5, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? Yes. You know what it is. It's Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This is the first book in the Outlander series. Since I've said I'm going to read this, since I've got it and shown it and gone, yes, look, here it is, the amount of comments, I just think this could be it. It could be the beginning of my new obsession. It could just be the book that I reread and reread. It is a divisive series, isn't it? It seems to raise people's passions in all sorts of ways. So because of that, I'm fascinated, and I think I'm coming to it at the right time. I don't see this as a meh book. I think it's either going to be a favourite or I'm going to go, no. I think that's what it is. So I'm hoping it's a favourite. That would be glorious to think that in the next week or so I will become a favourite. This will become a favourite. So there we go. Outlander. I'm prepared for all the Scottishness. I should get some shortbread. Wear plaid and wear tartan. Number 6. Have you already started making reading plans for 2018? No, not really. The only things that I have thought of is that I'm going to do the... I've enjoyed the Pop Sugar reading challenge, even though... I'm just going to get my mint tea. Even though I haven't really spoken about it, it is something I have been keeping an eye on during the year, and I've quite liked it's given me a little focus. I would quite like next year, if possible, to do the Pop Sugar reading challenge, or one of those challenges again, but do it completely from the books on my shelf, and not get anything new in. That would be really good. And the other thing is I want to use my library more. I want to take Benedict at least once a year, once a week, once a year. I want to take him once a week, and not once a week, once a month. I want to take him once a month. And even if, and I kind of would like to do, because this is what we used to do. We used to go and we used to be there for about an hour. And it wasn't just choosing books to read. I mean, I wish I could have gone like every 4 days, the amount I read as a child, but he doesn't read as much as I do. But it would be good because we used to go for like an hour. And so you used to start reading things there and then, and it used to pick up things. And I would like to take him for that, and take him for like, say, oh, mummy's got to do such and such, and get him used to spending like an hour looking through books, and or build it up to kind of that time. I want him to get into using libraries as a resource, because he's very much, now he'll look up things on Google rather than how I do even now, go and look at a book. So I'd like to kind of get him into that, and so going to the library, I think I'm going to get at least one library book out a month, and encourage him to get a library book out every month. So that's the only reading plans that I've vaguely had in my head, apart from enjoying all my reading and reading widely always. I don't ever seek to narrow my reading. I always seek to expand my reading horizons in all directions. So there we go, that's it. So that is my end of year tag that I have done. I hope it was nice for you. I hope you enjoyed looking at the books that I have to read for the rest of the year. It's quite a lovely selection. I think that's important, actually. I think you've got to be able to look at the books as a selection and think afterwards, is that a good selection? Does it tickle my fancy? Yes. Consider my fancy tickled for a Tuesday morning. Let's see. So there we go. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourself tagged by me. If you do this tag either on the YouTubes, or you do it on Instagram, or you do it on blogs, because I have 1 or 2 people that do blogs. Please leave the links down below so that not just I but other people can see them and can check out your tag as well, please. So Mel of Booklands Adventures and Jane Catherine, who I mentioned yesterday. Just saying, just putting it out there that perhaps you should do it. And P.S. I love that book, you could do that as well. And The Mirror World, you could do it. And there's a lot of you that I would really like you to do it. But even if you are on Instagram, consider yourself tagged. You could just show me your books and write down the letters. That would be brilliant, actually. So there we go. All of you, every single person watching this, you are tagged in some way. That would be wonderful. That'd be really good to see what your plans for December reading and for next year. And there we go. That is Tuesday's Tag Tuesday. And it's my Vlogember for you for today. 2 days left. 2 days left. Tomorrow I'm doing yarn chat. And then Thursday, 30th, I think we're going to go out together. You and I are going to go and have coffee or tea or whatever it is you like to drink. And we'll have a lovely day. It's been lovely BookTube. It's been lovely YarnTube. It's been lovely YouTube. And it's been lovely to see you. I hope you're having a good day. And yeah,